Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Windows Wednesday. My name is Kayla Cinnamon, and today I'm joined by Brandon, who will be talking about the Windows Insider program. So, hey Brandon.
Hey, this is
Happy
exciting. I'm
Wednesday.
I'm honored to be here.
Yeah, we're excited to have you on. I think this is going to be a really interesting episode, and it's more broad of Windows things rather than specific tooling in Windows or anything like that.
Yep.
Okay, so let's just get into the question. So I think I kind of want to chat about like what is the insider program and why should people hop onto it first?
Yeah. So the Windows Insider program is a community program that we run where you can sign up to try out what's next for Windows in various spots. We have 3 different channels, and you can pick the channel that you feel is best for you on your PC, and you can try things out and then give us feedback on and preview the things that we're about to release to the general public. And so this is how we listen to our fans, and our fans help us make Windows better for all of our customers. So it's an exciting program. I think it's super fun to kind of get a preview of what's next, and then play with it and having time with that before everyone else. There's a little bit of like a specialness there. So.
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned 3 channels. Can you talk a bit more about what they are and why people would be on each one? That makes sense.
Yeah, so the dev channel, so we have 3 channels: the dev channel, the beta channel, and release preview channel. The dev channel is like the bleeding edge channel where we are putting a lot of really fresh code from our engineers out to our insiders to try out. It's also a place where we'll also try things out, and if those things don't work, we may not even ever ship those features and those improvements. It's a way for us to kind of have a little bit more agility in learning from the community on what works, what isn't working, where we can refine. So that's the dev channel. The beta channel is a place that is, I would say, it's more closer to what we intend to release to the general public. That's not to say there won't be bugs and things like that in both these channels, but beta channel is more of that. I want to say safe spot, but it's a comfortable spot for people who want to preview what's next. The release preview channel is essentially the place for released versions of Windows 10 and 11 where we try out our servicing updates, like updates that we would do at the end of the month through our servicing channels. So that's a place where people can try those out on the released versions of the OS, who may not be necessarily comfortable running full-on preview builds. And so that's kind of the breakdown between the 3 channels at a top level. Me personally, most of my machines are in the dev channel. I have 1 machine in the beta channel. I like to kind of play around with both experiences, kind of make sure that I'm seeing what both sides are seeing in terms of those channels. But the dev channel is kind of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, same. I'm also on like the dev side of things. So you mentioned experimentation. Is there a point, like if you hit the beta channel, can you expect everything there to be in the retail versions, or at what point does experimentation kind of become solidified?
We will still try things out in the beta channel, but it's less likely that there are things that we will not ship. We want that audience to be in a spot where we really want to ship the things that we're trying out there. But again, it's feedback. If we are trying something out in the beta channel and feedback really is like this isn't working, or where we see that performance for a feature isn't working, like there is a chance that we could say, well, maybe this thing needs more bake time and we're not going to release it. And so that could happen even in the beta channel. But it is more of a spot that I think is going to be more closely aligned to the things that we intend to release. And we also might try out different variations of features that we intend to release too. So there'll be some things there being tried out, but to not at the same degree as the dev channel.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So you had mentioned people giving feedback a few times. How does it work, like being in this community, giving feedback, giving feature requests? Like what are the channels that people can do that through, and how does that work?
Well, we have in the product in Windows, there is an app called Feedback Hub. And so
Mhm.
you can open Feedback Hub and give feedback on any of the Windows Insider channels. But Feedback Hub also works even if you're on a release version of Windows 10 or 11 and you're not in the Insider program, you can still use it to give feedback. But that is the avenue that we primarily encourage insiders to give us feedback. The feedback gets thrown into our back-end tooling, and then our engineering teams triage that feedback and then use that to inform bug fixes and things that they need to do to refine, say, their feature. And so it's really, really important that people file feedback in Feedback Hub. We do have a Microsoft Answers forum. That is more of a place to get help from the community, and we're also involved there as well. And we use that as a way to kind of I wouldn't say we do support, but we do help and troubleshoot with insiders on some issues that they may be having with builds, which can be fun too in itself. That brings me to a topic that I do want to bring back up, is that when you participate in the Windows Insider program, there is no support for the builds that we release. Use at your own risk. That being said, the Microsoft Answers Forum is a great way to ask for assistance if something's not working right, or if you're having issues like getting the build or an update, or you're having an error. The community has been really awesome at helping each other out, which is really fun to see. And that's actually one of the reasons why I go to the Answers Forum, because I love seeing the community talk to each other and whatnot. And then we also engage pretty heavily on Twitter. And then my colleague Jennifer Gentleman is also active on Reddit.
Okay. Sweet.
I don't know how to use Reddit.
Yeah, that's awesome.
She's there. She teases me a lot about it, because I go there and I don't know what's going on. Do I upvote, downvote? But yeah.
I'm so glad you say that, because I also am completely so new to Reddit, and for Windows Terminal, we just have a couple of our developers handle that, because I'm I don't know how this tree system works. The whole thing is just, I stick to Twitter. Twitter's my happy place. This is it.
Same here. She's like, did you see this on Reddit? And I'm like, no, Jen, I only see memes. I can't get out of the memes on Reddit. And so, but yeah, so we actually have a huge team, not a huge team, but a team of people, myself, Jason Howard, Jennifer Gentleman. We work together and, to engage with the community, and it's really fun.
Awesome. So I know we kind of came out with a large, release, Windows 11. And I kind of want to talk about where it is in the Insider program. Is it on all three channels? And how do people get onto 11 from 10? That whole conversation.
Yeah. So Windows 11 is available in all three channels.
Okay.
We're testing in the dev channel today. There are newer builds of Windows 11 there. And then the beta and release preview channels both have the release version of Windows 11 from October, plus the servicing updates today. And so if you're on Windows 10 and you join either the beta or release preview channels, that will bring you up to pretty much the release version of Windows 11 with all of the latest updates. And yesterday we actually announced we were rolling out new features and updates for Windows 11, including some taskbar enhancements based off of insider feedback. We also announced the ability to mute, unmute, and share any window through Teams. There's a blog post I can put into chat if you haven't seen it, but it was a pretty exciting day yesterday. And so if you join the beta and release preview channels from 10, you will get that update, assuming that your PC meets all of the hardware requirements. You can also go to a website. I think I sent that to you.
I think it's this
upgrade.
one.
Yeah. So there's a tool that we've released called the PC Health Check app, and that will also inform you whether your PC is capable of updating to Windows 11. The settings app, when you're joining the Insider program, will also help you and will determine whether or not you're capable of moving to those channels as well. However, if you're still on Windows 10 and you can't, upgrade to Windows 11 or don't want to, you can still join the release preview channel and you can test and try out our servicing updates for Windows 10 there, where we're bringing enhancements and improvements to Windows 10 through that channel. And so we do have all 10 and 11 covered across the board.
Okay, so there's kind of like two different paths you can take, and just to make sure I'm understanding this correctly, if you stay on Windows 10, you could still get insider builds for Windows 10, and then same with 11.
Yep, they're just previews of the servicing updates, though. They're not entirely new builds.
Okay.
Just preview of servicing updates. But yeah, we in the release preview channel, you can still be on 10 and previewing our servicing updates.
Okay, sweet.
Now, if you don't want to be in the Insider program and you want to upgrade to Windows 11, Windows Update in your settings app and on Windows 10 should also inform you of, hey, you have the upgrade available. If you want to choose it, go ahead. So there's that opportunity also. Okay, awesome.
So speaking of Windows 11, what are some of your favorite things that have come through since we announced a few months ago?
Oh man, there's so much. There's so much. So I'm a big UI, design. I love aesthetic, and so for me, I really enjoy the I'm gonna be out of the norm here because I know that a lot of the insiders really like dark theme. I actually love light theme. And so I love the light theme. I love the rounded corners, the softness. I feel like the new start menu and the centered taskbar, for me, I have my icons organized in certain ways. And so like when I come to my PC, I'm like, I can more quickly get to the things that I need to get to be productive. There's more granular controls with notifications, with focus, assist. There's just collectively together, I feel more productive because of all of the UI enhancements that we've made to make Windows 11 a little bit different than what previous Windows releases were. I also love snap layouts. So like on a big monitor, like I have a widescreen Dell monitor, I use that quite a bit to kind of have like Twitter open here, Edge, Outlook, or various ways. And so like I love the snap layouts and how easy it is to be able to do that. So it's just a combination of like when it's all together, I feel more productive. Like I'm getting more things done. I feel like there's a lot less noise. Things are a lot less busy. And so yeah, I mean, I know that's kind of it's like whiz back. I love feature A, but it is a collection of everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's I mean, I do love the start menu. I love the start menu because it's less busy. I simply have my pinned apps at the top. I use the recommended section all the time to get to my doc. I work a lot in documents. Like I spend a lot of my day in documents, and so being able to just come to my computer, log in, open start, click on a document, and keep going. It's boom, 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 boom. Really, really makes me feel and be more efficient at what I'm wanting to do. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that recommended section in the start menu because that is probably my most used section of like the OS, I feel like, because it will recommend the files and like PowerPoints and Word documents and anything that you had open most recently, which is super handy. And I didn't realize how much I relied on it until you just said that. Like, I feel like I've been spoiled because I'm like, yeah, all my stuff's like, 2 clicks away. I don't have to go open PowerPoint, then go open recent, and then, through that whole path. So yeah, I agree.
It is super important. Like, I mean, like you're right. And like, I just realized this, last week. Cause like I'm working, part of my job in the Windows Insider program is to manage the flight blog posts for the builds we release. And I'm always working in Word documents for those drafts. And like I could just I just open my start menu up, boom, the latest draft of the flight post that I'm working on is right there. And it's like clockwork every week. And so whereas, with Windows 10, there was so many more steps to get there. And I feel like with Windows 11, it's a lot easier. So.
Yeah, I agree. I also want to bring up what Jonas has just said here is one of my favorite features is that terminal ships with Windows 11. That's just me selfishly liking that, my product made it in.
I love Windows Terminal.
Yeah.
I need to learn more on how to use it. I mean, I learned how to change the background and do the acrylic stuff. And so like on another machine, I have my background, a picture of Jason Howard's face. just to irritate him, but I need to learn. Like one of my goals over the next year is to get a little bit more technical on that side. I want to learn more about command, doing like the command line stuff. I really want to learn more about because I've just always been fascinated by that. And I used to do a lot of the DOS commands growing up, but I never got into the more technical stuff. And so I really I could use your help in the future on learning how to really be more efficient at using Windows Terminal, because it is a really awesome, my dad tells me about it. He's like, this is really cool. I can't believe you guys built this. I'm like, well, I know the people who did it.
That's cool. Oh, I love that. Yeah, we could just have you on the show again, and then I'll just give you a tutorial on all things command line. We'll customize your terminal so you don't have Jason's face back there anymore, and then that'll be an episode.
Here's a nerdy thing. I want to learn to write a commandlet that does a mock version of what happened in the Jurassic Park novel, where they had the white rabbit object in the terminal command line, and it shut down the park. I want to write something where I can do a command and then it pretends to shut down Jurassic Park. I think that would be really, really cool. See, that would be my first true project that I would like to try to do. So, but yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Sounds like a plan. I truthfully haven't seen Jurassic Park, so I don't know what you're referencing. I know.
It was the book. You should read the book. If you're I highly recommend the book. It's actually one of my favorite books. I can't believe you haven't seen the movie though.
I know. I'm sorry.
No, it's totally cool. It may not be everyone's cup of tea, but
I think I just haven't gotten around to it. I know that sounds really lame, but I haven't seen it. So.
It came out in the mid-90s and it still holds up, man. The first Jurassic Park, it still holds up. You look at those dinosaurs and we're going off topic. Sorry.
Anyway, I will go watch it. I'm looking at the chat. That's my task for the weekend. I'll go watch it. So I saw that you guys got a new logo, and it was after I made the thumbnail for this episode. So I apologize for not being in here, but I am a big fan of the new icon.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah. We worked really hard. We looked at a lot of variations. I mean, this has been a year's work of just back and forth on where do we go next? And this is where we landed. And, the icon's supposed to represent the community and together. And then it also represents the three channels, the dev, beta, and release preview. And so we felt that this would best represent the program all together, in addition to the fact that it also matches the rest of the new Fluent design icons in the product, which we've been updating over time, and it's part of Windows 11 as well. And so, yeah, that's kind of it in a nutshell. I'm really happy that people like it. It makes me smile when I see it. And then also, I'm dying to make stickers made for it.
Yes, I was just going to ask if there were stickers yet and if I could snag some or if they were being made.
We're working on it. You're gonna get stickers made. So
awesome.
Because I want to put it on everything.
Yeah, I really like it. I think it's really clean but symbolic, which I'm not so sure that all icons are necessarily so symbolic. So I think it's really well done.
Thank you. And that was our goal. Insiders should expect to see that the icon show up in builds in the future very, 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 very soon. So
Awesome. And so before, was the real icon Ninja Cat, or is
yeah,
it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a Ninja Cat icon. Yeah.
Okay.
And we were just, there's no specific reason why we decided to change the icon other than we wanted to take the program into the next, we're re-evolving the program. And it just felt natural that this was a time to also update some of the branding for the program too, and that meant the icon. So that was kind of like our objective there. I mean, plus, we needed a new Fluent designed icon too. I mean, Fluent is awesome. So
yeah. Awesome. So I have noticed that it's been a while since we got a build.
Yep. Yeah. We have a quality bar even for the dev channel. So each of the channels have quality bars for what we release there.
Mm-hmm.
The dev channel has more of a higher, we believe has a higher acceptance of issues and possible bugs, which we document as known issues that we're aware of in our flight posts, especially the high hitting ones. But even then, there are certain issues or that are going above a quality bar that are just even too painful for insiders because they're also painful for our internal testing folks. And so long story short, for the last 2 weeks, we've had issues resulting in build just not being on at that quality bar. And if a build is too buggy, even in the dev channel, it prevents us from getting good feedback on that build so that engineers on our side can fix those bugs and, go, make things better. And so at that point, if it's so buggy, we can't get good feedback, why release a build? And so, yeah, we are confident that we have a build that meets our quality bar. And so we are hoping very soon to release a build to insiders. So if those of you in the chat were asking earlier about having a build withdrawal and wanting a new build, I would say watch us closely over very soon. So that's a bit of a tease. I'm awful at doing teases. I'm awful at doing teases, but I asked Amanda, my boss and the lead for the program. I'm like, can I give a tease? And she's like, okay. So
nice. Well, I'm excited for that to come out.
I am too.
Whenever.
Whenever. Well, it's our insiders know. Yeah. Our insiders know our patterns for releases, which is also really cool about the community. Like they really understand. When we fall into place on patterns, they look at those patterns, and so it won't be. I bet you they're already assuming when we're going to go because of our patterns. I don't have the chat up right now, but I can just imagine it.
Okay. So is there a regular cadence that typically builds come out? And is it different per channel?
It's definitely different per channel. We try to flight weekly for the dev channel. And it's we usually release builds midweek. But things can always change and slip. If we have a build but needs more research on a bug, or we need to do more research or more testing on some things, sometimes things will move, which is another reason why we don't commit to a schedule, is we need to have the flexibility to adjust and release when we're ready and if we have a good build and whatnot. And so there isn't a set schedule, but we try to go weekly for dev channel. Beta channel is a little bit different as well as the release preview channel. Right now, they're matched to the servicing patterns that we do for, servicing updates for Windows. But that can change. And so it definitely varies between channel, but the dev channel, the coolest channel, is weekly.
Okay. And is there any complication between switching between branches or channels?
Switching between channels, you can't go from dev to beta or release preview today because the dev channel has higher build numbers. So you can't go into a channel that has lower build numbers than the build that you're on. And in the settings, that'll be grayed out. However, in the future, we are going to create a window between the dev and beta channels where you will be able to switch between dev and beta if insiders have decided they want to not be on the dev channel anymore. In our blog post from earlier this month, I think Amanda did a blog post earlier this month that kind of emphasizes some changes we are making to the dev channel. We do say that we are going to create that window in the future, and we will post and amplify and email insiders when that window is open so that everyone is aware and can make that choice on what is best for them.
Okay, so if you're on dev channel now, you are not able to back out into beta channel because your build number is higher? Is that how that?
Correct.
Right.
The only way for you to, if you're on the dev channel now and you wanted to go back to Windows 11, like the released version, you would have to reinstall Windows.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because again, you're on a higher build number than what's in the beta, and so it doesn't misalignment.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
But they'll get there, and then you can switch, and then the window will close again, and then it just does that.
Oh, so it'll be like a regular cadence of like the window opening. You could do this, switch in between for a little bit of time, then that window closes for a bit of development, and then
the window will close, but we don't. It may be a while before dev has another window, which is another reason why people should, really consider like if they want to stay or switch. But we'll communicate all that when this window opens. And give those details and kind of highlight like, hey, if you don't switch and you stay on dev, higher build numbers, you might have to reinstall Windows, all that jazz.
Okay. And Maddie is asking if you could dual boot a dev channel build alongside the public release. Is that possible?
I think it is because I know insiders are doing it. I hear about insiders doing it. I don't personally do it.
Okay.
Like my preference for running builds on top of builds is that I use Hyper-V. I either use Hyper-V or you have Azure VMs. So on my Surface Laptop Studio, I have a VM for testing, and I run it that, and then I have a few VMs in the cloud. So I haven't tried that, but I've heard insiders are doing that.
Okay. I also haven't tried that, and I haven't thought about it. So that'd be interesting.
A long time ago.
Yeah. Okay. And then I think one last question I saw way back in the chat, but I thought it was a good question, is if there's any benefits if you're developing, like if you're a developer using the dev channel, are there any benefits to doing that, or is just developing on the retail channel kind of just as fine?
There are some advantages on the dev channel because in the dev channel, we may be shipping builds with updated API capabilities. And then as part of the dev channel builds that we release, we also release updated SDKs. And so with those matched, developers can actually code and take advantage of some new stuff that we're working on the platform side. I'm less familiar with some of the mechanics there. I need to dive a little bit more deep into that. But that is an advantage to the dev channel builds. And so I'm trying to think of I can't think of an example off the top of my head currently of something that's in dev with the SDK that developers can take advantage of. But yeah, that is, there is some advantages there to developing and testing there. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't think about, the SDKs or the APIs or anything like that. So that makes a ton of sense. Well, it looks like we're coming up on time. Yeah, I saw it scroll by. It's way deep in the chat now, but kudos to whoever asked that because that was a really good question.
Yeah.
We are at the bottom of the hour. So that's about all the time we have. But thank you for coming on, and I'll have to have you on again to trick out your terminal and do some fun command line stuff. So that'd be fun.
I want to learn.
Cool.
I want to learn Terminal 101.
Sounds great. Cool. Well, thanks everyone for watching, and we will see you next week.